Today's episode is going to be talking about Japan. The giant decline they're having with babies, okay? Right now, Japan is at its worst baby making stages. And it's because it's hard. Think the US, but on cocaine, and not in a good way. I gotta put these windows down. I'm getting toasty. But when you think about it, right? Okay, right now in the US, we're having issues having babies because things are difficult. Times are hard, and we can't even feed ourselves and have the life that we want to live, let alone bring a life into this world and give it what it wants. Let me cook. So, Japan, as of 2024, this is not even a 2026 census, but 2024, they have reached their lowest birth rate ever since 1899. I think that's an issue. I think that's something that should be studied. I think that's something that should be looked into and fixed. Because if you want your country to become and it's not even like become a powerful country, but if you want your culture to be saved, if you want your people to still be made and reproduce and, go in and live life, you got to do something about it. You got to bring incentives into the situation, because for Japan, work is life. There is no work-life balance. Guys are going to work at like 4 or 5 a.m., getting on the subway, and then, working their office job all day. Like, that's the whole main thing in Japan, is to be in the office and work in the office. But they say here, they go to work, they work a maybe 8 to 10 hour day, they get off, they go drink with the boys, and then repeat. Even so far as to Japanese people being slumped on trains, being slumped on the sidewalk because it's too far to get back home and they're too drunk and tired. And one thing I will say about the Japanese people is that they are really nice, they are really kind, because when they see somebody that is slumped out on the ground, a little too drunk, they give them water. They surround them with water bottles, so whenever they wake up, they can go ahead and do it again in the next morning. Crazy. You couldn't find that in the United States. We see somebody drunk on the ground, we're like, oh, man, this guy, this loser. We can't even look after our own people when it comes to hard times. At least the Japanese could be like, hey, here's a couple of bottles of water. Hopefully you can get hydrated and keep on going. At least you have that encouragement of waking up to a wall of waters. Basically a 24-pack at Deer Park. But over here, nah, brother, go buy your own. Go to that 7-Eleven, go ahead and get you some. Off your own dime. Crazy. But, literally, it's insane to see this. And the reason why the United States isn't on a huge decline, even though anybody in my age group, I'm 25, anybody in my age group really ain't having kids. And I look around, I'm like, holy crap. Back in early 2000s, people were popping kids out like it was no end. They were like, oh, I'm 22, having a kid. I couldn't imagine having a kid at 22. I couldn't imagine having a kid now, because literally financial instability is still a thing in my life. Even when I become financially stable, I'd have to really look at things and look at, okay, do I want to bring a child into this world, or do I want to live my life and be a little selfish? And look, I might be a nice guy, I might be a good fella, but I can be selfish about me time. And what's going to be taken completely is all of my me time if I have a child. Okay? I can't sit here and be like, you know what, I'm going to Japan with my girl. It's just going to be me and my girl. We're going to be able to do whatever we want, because of the funds that we have. We get to live life. No, you can't do that with a kid. You have to make sure you have a babysitter. It's just like having a dog, but 10 times, like, turn to 12. If the dial stops at 10, a baby goes to 12. You have to hire a babysitter. You have to make sure the food is there, the clothes are there, the Pampers are there, the freaking formula, gosh darn, the medication, because every kid has crazy diseases nowadays. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And I highly, highly suggest, if you're thinking about having a baby, go to a dog shelter and go get you a dog and see how much it costs to have a dog, a fur baby. Not a real baby, but a fur baby. Because that, you don't even get all the crying at 2 a.m. You get the roo-roo-roos at 2 a.m. or 11 trying to go to the bathroom, okay? And that is annoying in itself. You have to walk your dog. You have to feed your dog. You have to make sure they have water. Make sure they don't overheat. Make sure that they don't have worms and deworm them, even though we're supposed to be doing that as humans in the first place. But we are one of the only countries in the world that does not deworm anymore. Hello. And what is the biggest country that has cancer? The United States. Just think about it. Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? The parasites are in our body. If parasites are literally in our body taking our nutrients, of course we're going to have issues. Of course we're going to have cancerous issues. And it doesn't even stop with the parasites. It doesn't stop. There's food that's poison. There's water that's poison. There's motherfucking clothes that literally sit here and take your life force because they don't let you breathe. I know I might sound like a schizo right now, but it's a real thing. Okay? There are waters. What is it? I have to double check. But there's a water company, and I'm pretty sure it's like Simple Life or some stupid or something. But it's one of the cheaper waters. They're getting recalls because they have parasites in them. So not only do we have to worry about deworming ourselves, but we have to worry about the water we drink. We have to worry about the food we eat because Bill Gates, because literally, this guy that makes computers, this nerd, this freaking geek, has control of farms that we use. He literally has a... Let me put these up. I'm getting a little loud, but Bill Gates is in control of a lot of our farms. Like, he is top notch, like a big farm guy. He's not a farmer, but he controls a lot of our farms to the point where he has control of most of our food. This nerd, this geek, this freaking weirdo has control over our food, the US citizens, to the point where there's 3D printed meat. And this 3D printed meat is in restaurants. You know, you can't escape this situation. The only thing that I think that would really be like a safe thing when it comes to food is kosher food. If you go to a Jewish supermarket, like, they're not going to feed Jews bad food because Jews are the ones that are chosen. We're just the goyim. We're the dumb goyim to subservient ourselves to them. Look out for your food. Look out for your like people. I know it's hard in these modern times to even think about, oh, let me get local food, because local food is more expensive than anything at Walmart or Aldi. You're sitting here spending 2 times the price that you can spend on fake meat, basically. But it's like the poor people are still going to be eating the poor slop because they can't afford the things that are actual food. We're just going to keep on giving them 3D printed meat. Like the chicken in the freaking Campbell's noodle soup, that's 3D printed chicken. That's not even chicken. And they've came out and said it. Chicken noodle soup is for poor people. So I want people to really realize what we're really going against. And it is the system that is the United States. The only way to get out of it is to leave. And one of the best places to go is Japan. But back to the whole birth rate situation. The reason why the United States isn't seeing the worst decline possible is because of our high immigration rate. The Americans that aren't having kids are being replaced by migrants that are having kids, mainly Jews. They have about 9 kids a household, and I'm not exaggerating. Look into New Jersey. Just look into New Jersey. You will see that there is literally like little Jerusalem in New Jersey. And it's bad. Horrible. But at least they're nice to their own kind. You know, black folk, we keep on fighting and killing each other. At least Jews, they like, hey, my brother, can I take a hitchhike to this? If you see a black man on the side of the road as a black man, you aren't going to think, oh, let me help him. You're thinking, oh, he might be dangerous. It's crazy. But back to the birth rate thing. The reason why Japan is having it's basically like this. The United States has a slope of decline, while Japan is just seeing a cliff drop of decline. And the only way that they could really bring that up is to make it to where wages are better. Like, make it to where people are more comfortable with raising a kid. They don't feel as if they can't raise a kid with the money that they make. That's one. Two, put in programs for migrants to actually assimilate to the Japanese culture and live upon them, so you have a steady flow of new people coming in and you don't have to really worry about the actual people that have been there for years. But then Japan does have this huge thing of like, we don't, and it's crazy. Japan is actually racist on a high key note. They might think like, oh, black people are cool, but they still have that like idea of black people are dirty, and yeah, or they think that every black person is a freaking superstar or rapper or something of the sort. But look, I'll deal with a little bit of racism if it has to go with the food that I'm eating, because Japan still has one of the longest lifespans in the world. These Japanese people pretty much live on an average to 90 years old. Average. That is not high. That is average. So people are they're not using, but they're living to 110 years old. Crazy. While people over here are dying at 80, 70. Shoot, I've seen people die of natural causes at 60 years old because of heart attacks, cancer, and all these other things. Cancer really ain't a huge thing over in Japan. And I'm pretty sure they treat it a different way instead of radiating the freaking cells that are in your body. Okay, chemotherapy is a farce. It is literally killing you. You see all these cancer patients, they go in, right? They're like, they don't look the worst. They're having an okay time. They might have some, pains here and there. They go into chemo, they look like they're dying. And it's because they are. Chemo kills people. It's stupid. America really is like a really horrible business, and I cannot wait, and I hope to see this in my lifetime, that this whole system crumbles, because it is not fair to the average working man. It is not fair to the people that have dreams in this world. Okay, a lot of people wouldn't have the dream of being a millionaire if money wasn't so important. Okay, I don't have the dream of being a millionaire. I have the dream of opening a village to people. I probably will have to be a millionaire to get there, but my dream is to open a village to people that are in need. But you can't do that in America. And on top of that, we're not even going to talk about the freaking the noise ordinance and the building ordinance. You can't build a house with freaking clay because it's a health hazard, even though the Sioux were living in clay houses for years on end, living fine. But I digress. This is the moral of today's episode. America is a big company that does not care about you or your health or your well-being. They will experiment on you and your loved ones for the profit of $1. Not even just a whole bunch of dollars, just $1. They'll be happy to make off of your pain. That's one. The second moral: find a country that you are comfortable with assimilating to, because America is feeding you cancerous foods and horrible nutrients, because the nutrients that we get is not real nutrients, and we are all parasite filled. And 3, be sure to live out your dreams. Don't go for, oh, I want to be a millionaire because all the money in the world, I can do whatever. No. Have a dream and have a goal and be happy on the way there, because happiness isn't money. Happiness is the people that you love. Happiness is the people that you meet. the experiences that you have in life, the things that really stick with you. That's what happiness is. And that can't be obtained like in a natural way if you're a millionaire. You're not going to get people that love you for you if you're a millionaire. You're going to get people that love you for your money. You're not going to get people that really care about your feelings if you're a millionaire, because they only care about your feelings because of your money. This is one thing that King Von said, and I know he's a serial killer, but this is the point of him being a serial killer. Everybody was scared of him because they knew it would just take a flip of a switch, just boom, and they're dead. And he had no issue with killing people. So they'd be fake around him. They would be yes men around him because they did not want to die or have issues with King Von, even though he was a human just like everybody else. So, you know the moral of the story? And again, look into other countries. America really ain't just it, okay? Go out of America. Even though America is one of the places that have one of the best systems of, like, you can say what you need to say. Like, free speech is a thing in America, even though it's dwindling at a very rapid rate. But free speech is a thing. The Constitution is something that no other country has. So, yes, America has that. But at the same time, yes, America is going against that, and they don't care about you whatsoever. They just care about the money that you can bring to them and your tax money that you can bring to them to pay off America's debt. Move to Japan. Be a car guy in Japan. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have an amazing day. Alrighty.